Hopefully everyone can hear me okay. Um, we're going to start off tonight with some of the paperwork that I use for the Long Valley, or it's paperwork I've developed for the Long Valley. The first one is it's a track schematic, how the Long Valley is actually operated, even though it is just a simple loop. It's operated as a point-to-point railroad. And Back Tunnel is the connection to the rest of the rail network in the United States. And you can see the first connection off through Back Tunnel is the Midland Interchange Yard. And off the Midland Interchange Yard is Long Valley Junction. Then we pass through Sliding Hill Tunnel, and then we enter the village of Long Valley. All right, some things, the railroad, even though it's just a one train a day line, we still operate with a timetable. And the train, before they can go anywhere per the timetable, they have to have a 19 order that gives them the permission to use the main line, which that's something that's actually written in the timetable. Where we have the operating rules, movement of trains, and it basically says movement of all trains must be made by timetable train order, and the main track must not be occupied unless authorized by a train dispatcher. And we have gotten that authorization in the form of the 19 order that tells us we're allowed to run from the Midland Interchange Yard to Long Valley and return. And then a couple more things that we'll find in the timetable are things like yard limits. Tells you where all the yard limits are. We also have what the normal position of switches should be, how they should be left lined, either for a main track, for a siding, or for an industrial lead, depending on the switch, where it's located. There are also the industrial tracks. How many cars will they hold? How many cars should you leave at an industrial track? Are there any height limits on the industrial tracks? And another thing in the timetable is what are our speed limits? So these are just some things that make up the timetable. So now let's begin our tour of the actual Long Valley Branch. Okay, here in the back, we find Back Tunnel. This is our connection to the rest of the rail network in the United States. From Back Tunnel, we move into the Midland Interchange Yard. From the Midland Interchange Yard, we move out to Long Valley Junction, which is here. Now, beyond Long Valley Junction is just enough room for one train. The track beyond one train length has been taken out of service, is no longer used. The line basically represents an old secondary main where the mines have long played out and there was no reason for that trackage any longer, but the town of Long Valley still survives and flourishes, so we needed the Long Valley Branch so we can continue to serve the town of Long Valley. So they pull out and then they run west through Sliding Hill Tunnel. Okay, and when we enter Sliding Hill Tunnel, Long Valley officially begins here at LV Tower, Long Valley Tower. Next building we see is Snyder Box. Snyder Box receives rolls of paper and they make cardboard boxes. Our next industry in Long Valley is Medusa Cement. And I know somebody had mentioned to me before, hey, is that really a real name? And yeah, Medusa Cement really is a real company. They used to exist up in Wampum, and I don't remember when, but another company called Southdown purchased Medusa Cement. I don't think anything happens in Wampum anymore, but at one time they actually did mine lime and make cement in Wampum. And our final industry on the Long Valley branch is the Vulcan Manufacturing Company. And they're a structural steel manufacturing company, so they build buildings. The material comes in by rail and it's shipped out by truck. You can see the flatbed trailers and the truck tractors. Down here is the scrap yard for Vulcan. And then we have metal receiving under the shed. And in the back, it's a little bit hard to see, is tank car receiving. And tank car receiving is they can receive acid for pickling the steel, which removes rust from the steel. And they also received fuel for in the furnace. And the fuel storage tanks are out here in front of the building. At this point in time, let's get the local together and do a little switching in Long Valley. And the first thing we need to do is put the caboose on the rear of the train. Okay, and again, I apologize if I trip over the camera here. I'm trying to be camera operator and locomotive engineer and brakeman and conductor all rolled into one. But we're going to clear the switch here. We have permission through Aikenback Tunnel. That's still yard limits. And we're going to back up and tie on our train. Okay, and now we're going to shove our train out to Long Valley Junction. Okay, and all we need to do is clear the switch at Long Valley Junction. Okay, now we have permission. We have our 19 order, and we are off to Long Valley Junction, or Long Valley. Okay, now we will stop at Long Valley Tower and let the dispatcher know we have arrived at Long Valley while I reposition the camera. Now we're going to pull into the fasten siding here at Long Valley, and the first order of business is to work the East Industries. And the East Industries are Snyder Box and Medusa Cement. And we're taking the 2 inbound cars to work the East Industries. Okay, per the timetable, we have to throw that switch back when we're done. And now on to working Medusa Cement. And it's the same deal. We're gonna pull the empty, move it out of the way, and then spot the 2 loads. I'm faking it, Patrick. Okay, now we have those two industries worked. Let's collect up our cars. Here, because now we have to get the caboose on the other end of what this train's going to be for our trip back to the Midland Interchange Yard. So we're going to drop these two cars here. Okay, we're going to grab the whole train and we're going to shove our caboose onto the covered hopper and the boxcar. Cut that away. Put the train back on the main. Now we're going to cut away. Put our train back together, and and then we'll work the west industry, which is Vulcan manufacturing. For the west industry in Long Valley, you have to get the outbound cars first, because your yard limit ends at Sliding Hill Tunnel. So we're gonna come into the scrap yard first. We got a outbound load of scrap that we need to pick up. Okay, so now we're going to pick up this outbound Pentagon in the steel receiving track. And I don't know if you guys can see, but under that shed is a bumper. And the rule is you're never supposed to really hit the bumper. That's just there to protect the building. And so we always try to drop the car a little bit from the bumper. The same is true on the Snyder box. Now we're going to go back, pick up the tank car. I'm not sure if I can get a camera angle for you guys to see that tank car. Okay. Okay, now what we do is we're going to place the outbound cars on the passing siding. And now we pick up the inbound cars and we'll deliver them to their appropriate spurs. But we're going to drop the tank car first. Okay, next comes the Pentagon with the I-beams. They go to the steel receiving track. Turn the switch back to its normal position. And then you spot the empty gone in the scrapyard. Okay, and all we have left now is to put our train back together. Sorry for the shakiness. We're going to grab the 3 cars we left on the passing siding. Couple them onto the train. And we'll pull up to LV Tower. Report to the dispatcher that we are ready to leave Long Valley for our return trip back to the Midland Interchange Yard. Okay, the train is stopped at Long Valley Junction switch. Powerman will throw the switch for us. We're going to shove our caboose in on Interchange Yard Track 1, because that's where the caboose and the locomotive servicing facilities are. And then the outbound cars will go on track 2. Okay, brakeman ties them down there, cut the locomotives away. Come back and knuckle into the caboose. And that's it. That's an operating session on the Long Valley Branch. We can see the engineer and the conductor are going over today's work, getting ready to walk the paperwork in and sign it off. It's